Welcome to Retro Video Playback and to episode 31 of Tape Talk Tuesday. This week I'm taking a look at the classic 1968 horror movie, Rosemary's Baby, on VHS. Despite the number of movies I've regularly watched over the years, I didn't see Rosemary's Baby for the first time until a year and a half ago. I've known the movie by name for a long time, but that was it. I didn't see many horror movies growing up and didn't really get into them until about 15 years ago. I don't remember what prompted me to finally watch Rosemary's Baby for that first time, but I do remember enjoying it. Enjoying it enough to rewatch it with my wife just a few weeks later. And now, here's Rosemary's Baby on VHS. This copy was purchased from eBay and is, for the most part, sealed. I've seen some local ads for VHS tapes where this movie was once available, but by the time I stumbled upon the ad, Rosemary's Baby was long gone. A few weeks ago, I decided to purchase this VHS on eBay, paying around $25 Canadian. If the movie was perfectly sealed, I'd probably keep it that way, but as you can see, there's a hole in the cellophane wrapping, and since I'm making a video showcasing this movie, let's just tear this plastic right off and get a better look at it. The front of this VHS cover is green. Sorry, I usually get into finer details right away there, but green is all I tend to see when I see this cover. Looking more closely though, there's an image of Rosemary's face, presumably laying down and facing upward. Just below Rosemary is a dark and shadowy baby carriage atop a rocky surface. Even if you aren't familiar with this movie, I think that just by looking at this cover, you can get a sense of the movie's tone and assess that this is a horror movie based on the simple eeriness of it all. The title, Rosemary's Baby, is in a white Helvetica font with a bit of stylization happening with the M and the B connecting. The top and the spines of the box break away from the green that covers the front and instead has a white background. The top has the title in a black font that's slightly different from the rest of the areas on the box, following a uniform design that Paramount was using around the time of this tape's release. The top also contains the VHS number, movie release year, color, runtime of 134 minutes, R rating, and Paramount logo. On the spines, the green from the cover is once again present, this time in the movie title. After the movie title on the spines is the VHS number and the blue and white Paramount logo. The back of the box also has a white background. In the top left is the same Paramount Studios logo and information, and then a barcode in the top right. Then we have the movie title, taking the color from the spines but the formatting from the front cover. Below the title are two images, stills from the movie. The one on the left seems like a random choice, an uneventful shot of Rosemary and her husband, Guy, with their new neighbor, Minnie, sitting down for drinks. I think a better choice would have been a shot of Rosemary in the phone booth or walking into traffic. The shot on the right is, fortunately, a much more exciting still, though I won't provide any context in the event that you've never seen the movie. I don't want to spoil anything. I think that's a really fun way to go into a movie. Know as little as possible, don't even read the plot. I'd say this method works best if you have someone reliable recommending a movie to you, whether you're watching the movie with them or not. That way, you have something to go on that should be guiding you in the right direction. With Rosemary's Baby, for example, I don't know that I'd ever seen any clips of it, and before watching it, the only thing I had for any sort of beforehand knowledge was the brief write-up offered on the streaming service I watched it on. As I watched the movie, I genuinely had no idea what I was in for.
You'll get used to the smell before you know it.
Each moment was entirely unexpected, and, if you've seen the movie, you can imagine the surprise I found myself on the receiving end of. In turn, I told my wife, despite her aversion to older movies, that I had a movie I think she would like, and going into our watch of Rosemary's Baby, she had zero information on the movie. I didn't tell her a single thing. Sure enough, she had a great time with the movie and experienced the same pleasant uncertainty that I did on my first watch, all leading up to that final payoff.
What are you talking about?
Below the images is the write-up. I'm going to pause right there. This is the part where I read the write-up word for word, and usually that's not a problem. But in this case, I feel the write-up is a bit spoilery. So if you'd like to stay as ignorant as possible to the plot, as we just discussed, I'd skip ahead past this overview of the backside. Okay, now is the write-up. Possibly the best horror film ever made, this brilliant adaptation of Ira Levin's best-selling novel is the story of a loving young New York City couple who are expecting their first child. Like most first-time mothers, Rosemary experiences confusion and fear. Her husband, an ambitious but unsuccessful actor, makes a pact with the devil that promises to send his career skyward. Director Roman Polanski elicits uniformly extraordinary performances from the all-star cast. Ruth Gordon won an Oscar for her performance of an over-solicitous next-door neighbor in this classic thriller. Below the write-up are the production credits and copyright information, and in the bottom center, an R rating. My copy, as I've pointed out in past episodes of Tape Talk Tuesday, has an 18A sticker for the Canadian rating. The tape? Let's take this out of the sleeve for the first time and look at it together. Nothing surprising, nothing fancy, it's the typical Paramount design on a paper label featuring all the usual information. But boy does that plastic and film look clean. I say this with pretty much every horror movie I look at on Tape Talk Tuesday, but Rosemary's Baby is a perfect watch on VHS. I have it on 4K Blu-ray and it holds up and looks great there too, but something is just so appropriate about a 60s horror movie playing from tape in a VCR on a smaller screen, and bonus points if you're in the basement. With that, we find ourselves at the end of our discussion of Rosemary's Baby on VHS, and the end of episode 31 of Tape Talk Tuesday. Thanks for watching Retro Video Playback.